Now let's quickly start with our next topic, which is uniform and non-uniform motion. After studying about speed and velocity, we've completely learned about the standard terms. Now, in all of the previous video, we talked about speed, velocity, distance, displacement. So we've come to know about these standard quantities. So these are the main quantities which are very much needed in order to do the further topics in this chapter. One more quantity is left, which is acceleration. But before starting acceleration, or before trying to understand what acceleration is, let's quickly talk about this simple topic, which is uniform and non-uniform motion. Right? Uniform and non-uniform motion. What is uniform motion? What is non-uniform motion? Right? I will tell you quickly about this with the help of example. I've drawn two tables. First table is for car A. Car A. Here I've written time in seconds, distance covered. Right? Time in seconds. The first row gives me time in seconds and the second row gives me distance that is covered. So you can clearly see that time in second, right, I have taken is 0, 5, 10, 15. That means that the data I am basically written is for every 5 seconds. The data gives me how much distance is covered per 5 second. For every 5 second, how much distance car A covered is given in this table. And again I've taken another car B. This is also the same data in how much time in distance is being covered. But here I'm also going to check for car B for every 5 second how much this particular car covers the distance. So I've got two cars A and B, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to look at the data that is calculated, and the data basically shows how much distance both of these cars covered for every 5 second. For every 5 second, how much distance both of these cars covers. Right? So let's see for car A what is happening. I'm seeing in this particular table that for every 5 second, a distance of about 10 meter, let me say that 10 meter, let me just suppose that my distance covered is in meter. Right? My distance covered is in meter. So for every 5 second, my car A covers 10 meter of distance. And let me now look at my car B. For every 5 second, there is not some pattern being followed here. Like for first 5 second, the distance covered was 10 meter, but for the next 5 seconds the distance was covered was 5 meter. Again for the next 5 second, the distance was again 5 meter that was covered. So there is no regular pattern here that is being followed by this car B. So I can say that my car B is actually covering unequal distance in equal interval of time. Right? And my car is actually covering equal distance. For first 5 second, there was 10 meter of distance being covered. Again for another 10 second, there was another 10 meter of distance being covered. So that means that it is actually following some kind of pattern. It is actually covering 10 meter of distance every 5 seconds. Every 5 second, my car A is covering 10 meter of distance. But I cannot say for car B, because my car B is actually changing, fluctuating the distance. It's actually covering unequal distance. So here my car A covers equal distance in equal interval of time, and here my car B covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time. So this car which is covering equal distance in equal interval of time is said to be in uniform motion. And this car which is covering unequal distance in equal interval of time is said to be in non-uniform motion. So this means it was so simple. Any object which covers equal distance in equal interval of time is said to be in uniform motion, whereas another object which is covering unequal distance in equal intervals of time is said to be in non-uniform motion. And what is some another term that is used for equal distance in equal interval of time? Uniform speed, right? So that means any object which is in uniform speed is said to be in uniform motion as well, and any object which is in non-uniform speed is said to be in non-uniform motion. So this was all about uniform and non-uniform motion. The only thing that you need to remember is that something that is in uniform speed is also in uniform motion, and something which is in non-uniform speed is also in non-uniform motion. By remembering this one simple line or one simple sentence, you can actually remember the definition of both uniform motion as well as uniform speed.